Welcome back to our channel, my dear friends. Learning English can feel difficult sometimes. You may forget words, make grammar mistakes, feel nervous while speaking, or think that your progress is too slow. But slow progress does not mean failure. Every word you learn matters. Every sentence you speak matters. Every mistake teaches you something. And every day you practice, your English becomes a little stronger. Do not compare yourself with fluent speakers. They also started from the beginning. They also made mistakes. The difference is that they kept going. You do not need perfect English today. You only need to keep learning. So stay with me until the end. And let's begin. Lesson 1. Stop waiting to speak perfect English. One of the biggest mistakes English learners make is waiting until their English becomes perfect before they start speaking. They think, first, I will learn all the grammar. First, I will learn more vocabulary. Then I will start speaking. But that day may never come. You do not learn to speak English only by studying English. You learn to speak English by speaking English. At the beginning, your sentences may be simple. You may say, I am going to work. I am feeling tired today. I like this movie. I want to improve my English. These sentences may look basic, but they are important. Every sentence you speak teaches your brain how to use English in real life. Do not feel embarrassed because your English is simple. Simple English spoken confidently is better than difficult English that stays only inside your head. You will make mistakes. Maybe you will use the wrong tense. Maybe you will forget a word. Maybe your pronunciation will not sound perfect. That is completely normal. Think about a child learning to walk. The child falls many times. Nobody says, you are bad at walking. Stop trying. The child gets up and tries again. English learning works in a similar way. Every mistake is part of the process. The more you speak, the more you notice your mistakes. The more you notice them, the more you can correct them. And slowly, your speaking becomes more natural. Start speaking with the English you already know. Talk about your day. When you wake up, say, I am getting ready. While eating, say, I am having breakfast. When you leave home, say, I am going outside. Before sleeping, say, today was a good day. You do not always need another person. Speak to yourself. Describe what you see. Ask yourself simple questions and answer them. You can also record your voice. Speak for 1 minute about your day. Listen to yourself. Notice where you stop. Notice which words are difficult. Then try again. The second time will usually be easier. Do not try to sound like a native speaker immediately. Your first goal should be simple. Speak clearly enough to communicate your idea. Confidence comes later. Fluency comes later. Better pronunciation comes later. But none of these things can grow if you are too afraid to begin. So stop waiting for perfect English. Use the English you have today. Make mistakes. Correct them. Try again tomorrow. Every time you open your mouth and speak English, you are training yourself to become a better speaker. You do not become confident and then start speaking. You start speaking, and that is how confidence begins to grow. Lesson 2. Stop being afraid of making mistakes. Many English learners know more English than they actually speak. Why? Because they are afraid of making mistakes. Before speaking, they start thinking, what if my grammar is wrong? What if I pronounce this word incorrectly? What if someone laughs at me? And because they are thinking too much, they stay silent. But mistakes are not proof that your English is bad. Mistakes are proof that you are using English. Think about how you learned your first language. You did not begin with perfect sentences. You listened, You copied words. You said things incorrectly. People corrected you. And slowly, you improved. English works in the same way. You cannot learn everything first and make mistakes later. The mistakes are part of the learning. Imagine you say, "Yesterday I go to the market." Then someone corrects you. "Yesterday I went to the market." Now you have learned something useful from a real conversation. The next time, you may remember went instead of go. That mistake helped you improve. So when someone corrects your English, do not feel embarrassed. Listen. Understand the correction. Repeat the correct sentence. Then continue speaking. Do not allow one mistake to end the whole conversation. Another important thing is to stop trying to create perfect sentences inside your head before speaking. If you spend too much time checking every word, you will speak very slowly and lose confidence. Start with simple sentences. Instead of trying to say something very complicated, say the same idea with words you already know. For example, maybe you forget the word exhausted. That is okay. Say, "I am very tired." You still communicated your idea. That is what language is for. You should also understand that even fluent speakers sometimes make mistakes. People forget words. People change sentences while speaking. People pronounce something incorrectly. Communication does not need perfection. It needs practice. Try creating a new rule for yourself. Every day, I will allow myself to make mistakes in English. This sounds strange, but it can remove a lot of fear. Speak for 5 minutes. Do not stop every time something sounds wrong. Finish your thought first. Then correct yourself later. Your confidence grows when your brain learns, "I made a mistake and nothing terrible happened." Then you try again and again. Slowly, the fear becomes smaller. Do not measure your English by how few mistakes you make. Measure it by how much more you can understand, say, and communicate compared with before. The learner who makes mistakes while speaking is moving forward. The learner who stays silent because they want perfection is making the journey much harder. So give yourself permission to be imperfect. Speak, make mistakes, learn, correct yourself, and speak again. Your mistakes are not stopping your English journey. They are helping you learn how to continue it. Lesson 3. Build English into your daily life. You do not need to sit with an English book for hours every day to improve. One of the best ways to learn English is to make it a small part of your normal life. Think about how much time you spend listening, reading, watching videos, using your phone, or talking to yourself every day. Some of that time can become English practice. Start with your morning. When you wake up, think in simple English. "I need to get up. I am feeling sleepy. Today is going to be a busy day." When you are getting ready, describe what you are doing. "I am brushing my teeth. I am choosing my clothes. I am making breakfast." These sentences are simple, but that is exactly why they are useful. You are teaching your brain to connect English directly with your daily life. During the day, change small things around you into English. Change your phone language to English if you feel comfortable. Write your shopping list in English. Read short English posts. Listen to an English podcast while walking. Watch a short English video while having lunch. You do not need to understand every word. Try to understand the main idea first. When you hear a useful sentence, pause and repeat it. For example, you hear, "I haven't decided yet." Do not only understand it, say it aloud. Then create your own example. "I haven't decided what to eat yet." "I haven't decided where to go yet." Now the sentence is becoming part of your English. Another useful habit is learning words from your real life. Do not try to memorize hundreds of random words. Learn words you actually need. If you work in an office, learn English related to your work. If you enjoy cooking, learn the names of ingredients and kitchen actions. If you like fitness, learn English words connected with exercise. When vocabulary is connected to your life, it becomes easier to remember and use. You can also end your day with English. Before sleeping, talk about your day for 2 minutes. Say, today I woke up at 7. I went to work. I met my friend. I was tired in the evening. Tomorrow I need to finish my work. Do not worry about using difficult vocabulary. The goal is to make English feel normal. Because when English exists only inside a textbook, it can feel like a school subject. But when English becomes part of your morning, your phone, your entertainment, your work, and your thoughts, it starts becoming part of your life. You do not always need more study time. Sometimes, you simply need to use the time you already have differently. Do not wait for English practice to begin. Bring English into the life you are already living. Lesson 4. Listen more. Understand more. Speak better. If you want to speak English better, you need to spend time listening to English. Think about how children learn a language. Before they speak clearly, they listen for a long time. They hear the same words again and again. Slowly, their brain starts understanding the sounds, words, and sentence patterns. You can use the same idea when learning English. Listen every day. You can listen to podcasts, simple conversations, short stories, interviews, movies, or English learning videos. But choose content that matches your level. If you understand almost nothing, the content may be too difficult. Start with English that is a little challenging but still understandable. And do not worry if you cannot understand every word. You do not need 100% understanding. First, try to understand the main idea. Ask yourself, what are they talking about? Then listen again. The second time, you may notice words that you missed before. This is where repetition becomes powerful. Do not always listen to something new. Sometimes, listening to the same 2-minute conversation 5 times can help you more than listening to 5 different conversations once. The first time, understand the topic. The second time, notice useful words. The third time, notice pronunciation. Then pause and repeat some sentences. For example, you hear, "What are you doing this weekend?" Pause the audio and repeat. What are you doing this weekend? Try to copy the speaker's rhythm and pronunciation. Then create your own answer. I am visiting my family this weekend. This is called active listening. You are not only hearing English, you are using what you hear. Another useful habit is watching short videos with English subtitles. Listen first. Then read the subtitles if you need help. After that, listen again without looking at the words. Over time, your ears will become more comfortable with natural English. You may also notice that native and fluent speakers do not pronounce every word separately and slowly. Words often connect together. At first, this can make English sound very fast. But the more you listen, the more familiar these sounds become. Do not become disappointed if fast English is difficult today. Your ears need training just like your speaking needs training. Give them time. Even 15 or 20 minutes of focused listening every day can make a difference when you continue for months. And whenever you find a sentence that sounds useful, do not leave it inside the video. Take it with you. Repeat it. Write it down. Use it later. The goal is not to understand one video perfectly. The goal is to train your brain until English starts sounding more familiar and natural. The more good English you hear, the more natural English you will have available when it is your turn to speak. Lesson 5. Stop translating every sentence in your head. Many English learners have the same problem. Someone asks them a simple question in English. They understand the question. They know what they want to say. But before answering, their mind starts working like this. First, they create the answer in their own language. Then they translate it into English. Then they check the grammar. Then they worry about pronunciation. And finally, they speak. This makes English feel slow and difficult. If you want to speak more naturally, slowly train yourself to think directly in English. You do not need to start with difficult thoughts. Start with very simple things around you. When you see your phone, think, "My phone is on the table." When you feel hungry, think, "I am hungry. I want something to eat." When you are leaving home, think, "I need my keys." When you see rain outside, think, "It is raining today." These thoughts may feel too simple, but they are training your brain to connect an idea directly with English. You can also ask yourself simple questions. What am I doing? I am making tea. Where am I going? I am going to work. How do I feel? I am a little tired. Do this throughout your day. At first, you may think in English for only a few seconds. That is enough. Slowly increase the time. Another useful method is to describe what you see. Look around your room and say, "There is a chair near the window. My bag is on the bed. The light is on. I need to clean this table." This is real English practice because you are creating sentences without first preparing them in another language. You should also learn useful phrases instead of learning only single words. For example, instead of learning only the word decision, learn, "Make a decision, I haven't made a decision yet." Instead of learning only, agree, learn, "I agree with you. I don't completely agree." When you learn complete phrases, your brain does not need to build every sentence word by word. The phrase is already available. This can make speaking faster and easier. Do not worry if you still translate sometimes. It is normal. You have probably used your first language for most of your life. Your brain will not suddenly change in one day. The goal is not to force yourself to stop translating completely. The goal is to depend on translation less and less. Start with the English you already know. Think simple thoughts. Use common phrases. Talk to yourself. Describe your day. And repeat the same useful sentences until they become automatic. One day, someone will ask you a question in English, and you will answer without first translating everything inside your head. That moment may feel small, but it means something important has changed. English is no longer only something you study. It is becoming a language your mind knows how to use. Lesson 6. Stay consistent. Even when progress feels slow, one of the hardest parts of learning English is continuing when you feel like you are not improving. You practice every day. You learn new words. You watch English videos. You listen to podcasts. But sometimes, you still cannot understand a fast speaker. You still forget simple words. You still make grammar mistakes. And then you start thinking, why is my English not improving? Maybe I am not good at languages. Maybe I should stop. This is the moment when consistency becomes important. Language learning takes time. You cannot practice English for a few days and expect to become fluent. Your brain needs to hear the same words many times. You need to use the same sentence patterns again and again. You need time to become comfortable with pronunciation. You need real practice before speaking starts feeling natural. Think about going to the gym. You do not exercise for 3 days and suddenly become strong. You train, you rest, you train again. After some time, your body changes. English works in a similar way. Your improvement may be happening even when you cannot clearly see it. Maybe 3 months ago, you understood only 30% of a video. Today, you understand 50%. Maybe before, you could speak for only 20 seconds. Today, you can speak for 2 minutes. Maybe you still make mistakes, but now you notice them yourself. That is progress. Do not measure your English only by asking, "Am I fluent yet?" That question can make you feel disappointed. Instead, ask, "What can I do today that was difficult for me before?" Notice the small improvements. Maybe you learned 5 useful phrases this week. Maybe you understood a conversation without subtitles. Maybe you answered someone in English without translating first. These small moments show that your English is growing. Another mistake is studying too much for a few days and then stopping completely. You study for 4 hours on Monday, 3 hours on Tuesday. Then you become tired and do nothing for the next 10 days. A better method is to create a routine you can actually continue. Even 20 or 30 minutes every day can be powerful. Listen for 10 minutes. Read for 10 minutes. Speak for 10 minutes. Then continue tomorrow. You do not need a perfect study day. You need many normal days where you keep showing up. Some days you will feel motivated. Some days you will not. Practice anyway. Maybe on a difficult day, you cannot study for 30 minutes. Do 5 minutes. Listen to one short conversation. Learn one phrase. Speak about your day for 2 minutes. Keep the connection with English alive. Do not let one missed day become one missed month. If you stop for a few days, simply return. Do not waste time feeling guilty. Start again. Learning English is not a race. You do not need to learn faster than everyone else. You only need to keep moving. The learner who continues slowly can eventually go much further than the learner who starts fast and quits. Your English does not need you to be perfect. It needs you to keep coming back. Keep listening. Keep speaking. Keep repeating. Keep learning. And give yourself enough time to see what all those small days of practice can become. Fluency is not built in one perfect day. It is built through hundreds of ordinary days when you decide not to give up. Lesson 7. Trust your progress and never give up. The final lesson is the most important one. Do not give up on your English because you cannot see fast results. Learning a language is a long journey. At the beginning, you may feel excited. You learn some new words. You understand simple sentences. You start watching English videos. You imagine yourself speaking English confidently. But after some time, the excitement becomes smaller. English starts feeling difficult. You discover more grammar. Native speakers sound too fast. You forget words that you learned yesterday. You know the answer in your mind, but when someone speaks to you, suddenly you cannot find the words. Then you may start thinking, I have been learning for so long. Why am I still making mistakes? This is where many learners become disappointed. But you need to understand something important. Progress in English is not always easy to see. When you practice every day, the change happens slowly. Think about your hair growing. You look in the mirror every morning, but you do not notice a big difference. After a few months, you look at an old picture and suddenly realize how much it has grown. English can feel the same. You may not notice improvement from Monday to Tuesday, but compare yourself with 6 months ago. Maybe before, you needed subtitles for everything. Today, you understand some sentences without them. Maybe before, you could not introduce yourself confidently. Today, you can speak about your family, work, hobbies, or daily routine. Maybe before, every English conversation made you nervous. Today, you are still nervous, but at least you try. That is progress. Do not ignore it simply because you are not fluent yet. Another important thing is to stop comparing your English with people who have been learning for much longer than you. You may watch someone speaking confidently online and think, "Why can't I speak like that?" But you do not know their journey. Maybe they have been using English for 10 years. Maybe they studied in English. Maybe they speak English every day at work. Maybe they have made thousands of mistakes that you never saw. You are looking at their current level and comparing it with your learning stage. That is not fair to you. Compare yourself with your old English. Record yourself speaking today. Talk for 2 or 3 minutes about your life. Save that recording. After 3 months, record yourself again on the same topic. Then listen to both. You may notice that you speak faster. You may use more words. You may pause less. Your pronunciation may sound clearer. This is a much better way to see your real progress. You should also stop believing that forgetting means you are bad at English. Forgetting is normal. You learn a word today. A week later, you forget it. Then you hear it again. You remember part of it. Then you use it in a sentence. Then you hear it in a movie. Slowly, that word becomes familiar. This is how memory works. You do not need to learn a word once. You need to meet it again and again. So when you forget something, do not say, "My memory is terrible." Simply review it. Repeat it. Use it again. The same is true with grammar. Maybe you understand a grammar rule while studying, but you still make mistakes while speaking. That does not mean studying was useless. Knowing a rule and using it automatically are two different stages. Automatic speaking needs repetition. Your brain needs time. Give it that time. There will also be days when your English feels worse than before. One day, you speak well. The next day, you cannot remember simple words. Do not panic. Your ability did not suddenly disappear. Maybe you are tired. Maybe you are nervous. Maybe the conversation is more difficult. Maybe you are speaking about an unfamiliar topic. A bad speaking day does not mean you have lost your progress. Continue. Another thing that can make learners quit is trying to learn too much at once. They want perfect grammar, perfect pronunciation, thousands of words, a native accent, fast speaking, perfect listening, everything. And they want it quickly. That creates pressure. You do not need everything today. Focus on the next level. If you know 500 useful words, learn more gradually. If you can speak for 1 minute, try 2 minutes. If you understand slow English, slowly start listening to slightly faster English. If pronunciation is difficult, work on a few sounds at a time. Grow step by step. There is no need to rush. And remember why you started learning English. Maybe you want a better career. Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want to communicate with people from different countries. Maybe you want to understand movies, books, podcasts, or videos. Maybe you simply want the confidence to speak English without fear. Keep that reason close to you. When motivation becomes low, your reason can remind you why continuing matters. Imagine yourself 1 year from today. Imagine that you continue practicing. You listen every day. You speak regularly. You learn useful phrases. You read. You repeat. You make mistakes and correct them. You continue even when progress feels slow. Where could your English be after 1 year? Now imagine the opposite. You stop today because you think you are not improving fast enough. 1 year later, you may wish you had continued. Do not create that regret. Give your future self the gift of today's practice. Even if you can give only 15 minutes, give 15 minutes. Even if you can learn only one useful phrase, learn it. Even if you can speak only 5 sentences, speak them. Something is better than nothing. There is another important truth. You do not need to love learning English every single day. Some days will be boring. Some lessons will be difficult. Sometimes you will feel tired. That is normal. Do not make your progress depend completely on your feelings. You brush your teeth even when you are not excited about brushing your teeth. English practice can become the same kind of habit. Something you simply do. A little listening. A little speaking, a little reading, every day. Then English slowly becomes part of your life. And please do not wait for the day when you make 0 mistakes. That day is not necessary. The goal of English is communication, not perfection. If someone understands what you mean, communication has happened. Then you can improve the grammar, improve the pronunciation, learn better vocabulary. But first, communicate. Speak. Use the language. Let English become real. And one day, something beautiful will happen. You will understand a sentence without translating. You will answer someone automatically. You will watch a video and suddenly realize that you understood almost everything. You will have a conversation and later think, wait, I just spoke English. Those moments are coming, but you have to stay on the journey long enough to reach them. So when English feels difficult, do not say, I cannot learn English. Say, I cannot do this yet. That little word, yet, changes everything. I cannot understand fast English yet. I cannot speak confidently yet. I do not know enough words yet. Because yet means you are still learning. You are still growing. Your story is not finished. So keep listening when you do not understand everything. Keep speaking when your sentences are not perfect. Keep learning after you forget. Keep practicing after an embarrassing mistake. Keep showing up when motivation disappears. And never allow slow progress to convince you that you are going nowhere. Every sentence matters. Every conversation matters. Every mistake matters. Every day of practice matters. You may still have a long way to go, but look behind you. You are probably already farther than you realize. Do not give up because English is difficult today. Keep going until the English that feels difficult today becomes the English you speak naturally tomorrow. My dear friends, learning English takes time, patience, and practice. You will make mistakes, forget words, and have difficult days. But never let those moments make you give up. Keep listening. Keep speaking. Keep learning. Even a little practice every day can take you closer to confident English. Remember, you do not need perfect English to move forward. You just need the courage to keep trying. If this video helped you, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Keep learning, keep believing in yourself, and never give up on your English journey. I'll see you in the next video.